the world of investing, where people buy and sell various asset classes in aim to make a profit. But most of the videos and flexes you see on social media is either a lie or just the product of years of hard work that was accomplished over time. But what about the start? Where do you begin? After all, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So, my lovely people, in this video, I'll be listing a few things that you should know before you actually start investing. So without further ado, let's begin. The first thing to do really does not necessarily have anything to do with investing, but it's more of an insurance policy that will help you in the future, and that is to build an emergency fund. I am at this point sure you have heard about this, but for the one person who still don't know what this is, an emergency fund is typically a set of money that has been set aside for a rainy day or week or month or a couple of months, come to think of it. The money that you set aside is supposed to be able to ensure that the current way you are living right now will not be affected in any way if you suddenly find yourself out of a job because of some form of illness or you just cannot work. So things like utility, food, rent or mortgage, etc. should be covered in your emergency fund. The typical advice is to save 2 to 3 months of expenses, but to be safe, aim for 6 months to a year. Case in point with this whole holiday that we have been experiencing from the end of 2019. However, if you are like in your teens or still living with your parents, you can ignore this first advice for the most part. Just save maybe a month worth of lunch money or so, if you want to help if in the event that the situation comes. But aside from that, you technically don't have to worry. The second thing to consider doing is paying down your debt. Let's imagine for a minute you have $1 million and life is going good, but then you remember that you owe persons and other financial institutions. What will you think will happen? Eventually the debt will have to be paid, and oftentimes debt attracts interest, and typically the longer the debt takes to be paid off, the higher the interest rate will be, essentially costing you more money in the future. Think of paying off or down paying your debt as investment in your future freedom, as you will be free from having to answer to anyone or any institution pertaining to debt. This in and of itself is an investment, essentially an investment in peace of mind. There are really two types of debt, which is good debt and bad debt. What will really differentiate the good from the bad is that the good debt is used to buy assets that will generate money that will be then coming back to you in some way, shape or form. For example, real estate, which you would use to lease or flip. While bad debt is using debt to buy liabilities like the new Gucci shoes that you see that everybody is wearing. But we can discuss that in another video. The third thing to do is to define your goals and priorities. A goal is an idea of the future or desired results that a person or group of people want to achieve. A few goals of mine are to buy my first house by 24 years old, to have $120,000 in stock by year end, and to eventually own a housing scheme. Understand that having a goal gives you a sense of where you want yourself to move towards. However, your goals can be divided into two categories. You have SMART goal and stretch goal. And the SMART goal is just having a goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely or time specific. Case in point, when it comes to me wanting to attain $120,000 in stock by year end, my goal is SMART because it is specific. It's $120,000 in stocks. It's measurable because I have a set figure I want to reach, which is $120,000. It's attainable because $120,000 is not that hard to reach in 6 months time for me personally. It's realistic because you are able to actually see how it can happen, because $120,000 is about $20,000 a month for the 6 months, which is then about $600 per day. And it's timely because, as I said, it's by year end, aka December 31st, 2021. For the stretch goal, it's essentially just setting some crazy goal that you're not quite sure how you will attain it or do it, but you desire it so bad that you will work to find a way how to get it. Case in point, the housing scheme situation. Yeah, grants me or I can see it now. But to attain your goals, you will need an action plan, which is a step-by-step guide that helps you to build a structure in life that is aligned with your life goal. And it's also important to break down your goals into small sections. Divide and conquer. Case in point, I am currently working, so I will save all I have and get an head start in the whole stock investing situation. And then after that day, I will trade and make the rest. So set a plan on how you will buy stocks, whether it's dollar cost averaging or value investing, and see how your portfolio will look. Whether it's heavy on the food industry and light on the financial section, or vice versa. The fourth thing is to decide which broker you will want to invest stocks through. If you're not sure what a broker is just an institution that acts as a middleman that can buy or sell stocks for you on the market. But a few things to look out for in a good broker is: one, the interest fee; two, the ability to be independent from actually having to contact someone to buy or sell stocks for you; and probably three, probably most of all, is that if the broker in and out itself is trustworthy. A broker can be a bank or investment firm, or even transactions done directly from the stock exchange. If you're curious on which broker I use to invest, well, it's called the Jamaica Money Market Broker, or JMB for short. It's really cheap to start. It's like only $10,000 to start, and their fees to buy and sell stocks are really low. Plus, you are able to buy and sell right off their website without having to communicate with any broker representative. So do yourself a favor and open a JMB account. Also, if you're overseas, then you can use Robinhood or Webull, or any foreign broker that you guys use. But for the Jamaican viewers, all you will need are just all of these. Yeah, and I know it might seem like a lot, but once you create an account, you won't have to create another. They will just use the information that you had already provided the first time and transfer the information to create whichever additional account that you want, create with them. And now that you have your account, the next step to do is understand the basic of investing. And honestly, to explain everything in this video would be too much, and I have made a few videos on something similar, so you can check it out. But I'm gonna go through a few things you can do right now as a beginner investor. And the first thing is knowing about the business you want to invest in. Understand if the business falls within your area of competence, which is just a fancy word of saying understand the business model. So let's say you are an entertainer and that is your profession, then most likely you will know about the entertainment industry more compared to, let's say, being a stock market analysis. The second thing that you probably want to understand is your business economic moat, which encompasses the business model, the benefits from economy of scale, legal barrier to enter the industry, and the high switching costs for consumers to get an alternative source. Case in point, an electric grid. But really, what economic moat is a business ability to maintain a comparative advantage over its competitors in order to protect its long-term profits and market share from competing firms. And here's an example that should help to solidify the concept if it is not yet clear. So, as a guy, you go on your first date with a girl, potential sweetheart. You bought her a present, to just show your appreciation. You bought her a box of chocolate called Ferrero Rocher. And immediately she got excited and kissed you on the cheek and say, "How did you know it was my favorite chocolate?" And you say, "Funny enough, I only eat this type of chocolate." Now you feel good, and essentially the date finished up pretty well and you guys started dating. Now a few weeks passed and it was Valentine's Day and you planned to make a gift basket for her. Which chocolate would you buy to add to the gift basket? I think so too. I don't think you'd be brave enough to mess with, success. Now that the company Ferrero Rocher has an economic moat on you, they can even raise the price tomorrow and you will still buy it just because it serves a need that no other brand can. The moral of the story is economic moat is essentially having an advantage that is protected some way or another. Therefore, you would look for companies that have these traits. The other thing to know before you start investing is to understand the language of business, which really are the balance sheet, the trial balance, and the cash flow statement. And for this example, I'm going to use Grace. And I'm just going to take a slight look at the balance sheet to give a really vague concept that you can use. So you know the balance sheet has two main sections. You have the asset column and the liability column. And we know assets put money in your pocket and liability take money out of your pocket. So just a quick glance at the statement of financial position or balance sheet, we can see that they have 154,705,881,000 in total assets and has $99,994,194,000 in liability. So a quick calculation, you can basically see that they have about 54% more in assets than in liabilities, which means they are on the good side because they have 54% more cash coming in than going out. So essentially, you should just understand that business cash flow, and a cash flow simply refers to the net balance of cash moving into and out of a business at a specific point in time. Positive cash flow indicates that a company has more money moving in than out of it, and negative cash flow indicates that a company has more money moving out of it than in. The last thing to do before you invest is actually look for companies that pay dividends. And this is kind of personal, opinion. But why? Well, it prevents you from selling your stocks when it's down, because as a beginner investor, you will be tempted to sell when you see the price go down. And dividend stocks will give you a little incentive to stay in the game a little longer. They will give you a little payout at least once a year to say, hey, thank you for being an investor. Second reason why you should invest in dividend stock is it also leads to financial freedom, because you begin to start having a consistent source of income coming in. So even when you have market crash, you'll still get a little something coming in. Alright? And the third thing essentially is that the yields tend to increase over time. So you'll get more money and more money every time you buy a new set of stocks or the company makes more profit. So guys, that is it for the video. If you have reached the end of my video, thank you. Love you guys. And remember to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. See you in the next video. Peace.